Hi guys, my name is LC,
My name is JT.
and welcome to episode 6 of the F1 Debate Show. Now, we've had an eventful week between the Bahrain and the Chinese Grand Prix, including Sauber's financial troubles and the new qualifying system being scrapped and going back to the old qualifying in China, which I'm sure everyone is happy about. We're also going to be discussing some of the drivers who impressed and have a lot more to prove from the Bahrain Grand Prix going into the race in the Far East. Now, the first driver we're going to discuss, JT, is someone who was on my mind, your mind, and everyone else's mind. He was called from a country next to China to come in for Bahrain. He's a reserve driver for McLaren, but he could be a lot more, even this season, but
Yeah,
surely next season. That is Stoffel Van Dorn.
definitely. Obviously, Stoffel Van Dorn, as like we said in the review, absolutely impressed everybody. Ron Dennis praising him. Jets Button praising him. Loads of people were praising this talented young driver who came through. From 1 minute, as like I said, 1 minute next, he's in Japan getting ready for his Super Formula race. Next minute, he's got to prepare for a proper race weekend and coming in for Fernando Alonso. Now, the latest in terms of what's going on at the moment, at time of recording, is that we are unsure as to if he's going to race in China. I hope he does, to be fair, because I want to see how he does at Shanghai, which is a more enduring, fast technological circuit.
Yeah.
So I would like to see how he does there.
Yeah.
So, but obviously, as I said, at time of recording, we don't know the
Yeah.
latest. But I know that he did do a simulation test on the track, so that could be a bit of a sign, unless he's just preparing in case he does get the call.
Yeah.
But yeah, back to Bahrain. First trying to score points for McLaren this season shows that he has determination.
Yeah.
Shows McLaren have faith in him, and also that shows McLaren have made progress.
Yeah, just as you mentioned, JT, about you want to see Stoffel driving in China, does that mean that people now want to see Stoffel in the car with Jensen and not Fernando? Obviously, the guy who when he made his return to McLaren in 2015, people wanted to see him in the car. Do people want to see Stoffel in the car more so than Fernando?
Possibly. Some fans will. Some fans won't. Excuse me. More of the older Formula One fans will want to see Fernando. People our age, like teenagers and stuff, will want to see Stoffel. Reason being was because Fernando's had his time. He's won his 2 World Championships. I doubt he'll win a third. He's come to the end of his career. Stoffel is a new, fresh driver from the ranks, very talented, as he proved in GB2 last season. Now, as like I said, I want to see Stoffel race because obviously he can score points. He is capable. He is a very talented driver, and I'm not saying Alonso isn't. Alonso's obviously a fantastic driver. He's one of the best of all time in my eyes. But since he's came to McLaren, fair enough, the car was bad last season, but he hasn't really delivered, unlike what Jensen has. You know what I mean? Like Jensen, poor again last season, but he's deep better than Fernando. Fernando hasn't really kicked up his season to the best of start. Fair enough, his big crash in Australia. How he would have done in Bahrain if he did race, maybe would they have scored points?
No, would have been great.
It would have been great, but if they did, but if he did, but obviously we'll never know. And but if he does race in China and he doesn't score points, then you could argue that maybe Fernando isn't as good as what he was.
Yeah.
And maybe he's lost that world champion touch that he had, like it was with Ferrari. And maybe Stoffel, obviously fresh from the ranks, brand new driver, could possibly will probably more or less replace him for next season. But it is a hard one because it is divided opinions. Stoffel this because he's fresh, and yes, Fernando has experience, blah blah blah. But Stoffel will learn from Jensen, yes, but Fernando is also a teammate with Jensen. They both know the rules and stuff. They know the limits and all that. So it is complicated. Again, it's a big decision like in Formula One, but me personally, Stoffel Van Dorn for B2 racing.
It would be good to see. It depends if he's all fit. I'm sure. It'll be going for FIA medical tests, through the week, and obviously the build up onto the Chinese Grand Prix. And if he's not safe to race, then he won't race. I think the way Fernando is fit, it's not that Ron will say, "Well, Stoffel will take the reins." I'm not sure if he can because Fernando's a driver. But one thing that will happen though, I'm sure Stoffel will be driving things like Friday practice sessions, and obviously as well, a given it is the drivers' tests. Through the season, and most definitely a drive for next season. As you say that, it's coming to the end of Fernando's career. maybe next year he's looking at something else. Well, he might have to start looking, very, very, very soon. Maybe also Jensen as well. Yeah, so obviously fantastic from him. I mean, it was almost McLaren. If I was Ron Dennis, I mean, I'm not sure what he's thinking now, but maybe he's biting his fingernails a bit now, thinking I can't wait for next season, because Stoffel in his first race for McLaren, but no, his first race for McLaren in the car in a Formula One race, but not even as a driver, he has now scored points. Something that Fernando and Jensen failed to do in the last race. So yeah, maybe they're looking for next year. But it'll be fantastic to see. Now another driver that we've discussed in the last few weeks, and obviously he's very high up in terms of what we think about him, is Romain Grosjean, and obviously the team of Haas. Now they have had a fantastic start in Formula One. Do you think they'll be able to? Do you think Haas as a team will be able to sustain it in China? Obviously Esteban and Roman as a team, and then also as individual drivers, more specifically Roman after his brilliant performance in Australia and in Bahrain.
Yeah, I mean, it will definitely be a team I want to watch for the Chinese Grand Prix. I mean, Bahrain and China are kind of similar circuits. I think China's longer than Bahrain in terms of lap times and kilometres and all that. So, and obviously they've got that long back straight, the long calendar. So that will show their straight line speed definitely. See how real that is, because in Bahrain that showed that their straight line speed was excellent. Caught loads of cars,
very much.
Caught, Renaults and Ferraris and all that by surprise. And obviously Grosjean again driving to watch at the moment, 6th place, then a 5th place. Can he get a 4th place in China coincidentally?
Possibly.
Esteban Gutierrez will try and score points if they can get right. This will be a good thing, right? If Haas score double points at the Chinese Grand Prix, that will show that this team is ready to fight. Because if they want to progress and do well in the championship, they have to get both drivers to score. Roman's done that. Gutierrez hasn't. But as I said in the review, Gutierrez will eventually deliver like he did eventually at Sauber.
Yeah,
definitely. But Haas probably I would tip them to be again in top 10 for the Chinese Grand Prix.
I mean, it would be really good. Esteban Gutierrez. Obviously, at the moment we don't think he's as strong as driver as Romain Grosjean, but we only think that because he had a double retirement in Australia and Bahrain. Obviously, crashed with Fernando in Australia, and then just a car reliability problem in Bahrain. So again, do we think that he is as strong as Roman? We just haven't seen him perform, because at the moment Esteban hasn't performed at all for Haas in our minds, but Roman has. So do you think Esteban is as strong as Roman once he gets with a car that is reliable and won't break down, or he won't have any problems during the race?
I mean, Esteban has got talent. Obviously, he's proved that. Obviously, I mean, someone at Sauber must have seen that talent in him.
Yeah.
To get through the ranks in the Formula One. And obviously, Gene Haas must have seen something in him as well. In terms of a drive, I've never really rated Esteban Gutierrez. The reason being was because you don't really see much of him in the grid. He hasn't really wowed anybody. He hasn't really impressed. I mean, people like Max Chilton, obviously the late Jules Bianchi, impressed us with the smaller teams. As did Nico Hulkenberg back in 2010, Pastor Maldonado in 2012. Teams with drivers at teams where you wouldn't expect them to be at the front. You wouldn't expect them to be at the front, always at the back. And Gutierrez hasn't really delivered that, so I can't really say if when he does have the car to, have a good pace to finish in the top 10, whether he can sustain that or not. I really, really don't know. To be fair, I would like to see him, but for me, Grosjean is the better team, is the better driver at the moment than Gutierrez. But I mean, Gutierrez, don't get me wrong, is a talented driver, and I do hope that we do see a lot from him this season. But obviously, he will need to impress this season rather than next season, in case that he doesn't get a drive for Haas next season.
Oh yeah, very much so. Obviously, Roman looks like a hungrier driver, and he wants things. We always even transition between last year and this year. When he left Lotus, we were talking about how hungry Roman is for a drive at Ferrari. It said Ferrari. I mean, it could be just anything, but I mean, to be honest, I think that's everyone's goal in Formula One. I mean, even as Sebastian Vettel left Red Bull, as a 4-time world champion, he said you know, it's everyone's dream to drive for Red Bull. It's everyone's dream to drive for Ferrari. And obviously,
Yeah.
the car on the grid with the biggest pedigree, and obviously in terms of him, it's Michael Schumacher's legacy. So yeah, we all know that Roman's chasing some great. Esteban, he's probably just happy for the ride. I mean, obviously, you know, he drove for Sauber, had a, you know, he didn't get selected again, and then now he's back with another team, Haas. He's just probably got, you know, he's probably just happy for the opportunity. Another driver to discuss, obviously Nico Rosberg, a fantastic start for him. You know, winner of the Australian Grand Prix and the Bahrain Grand Prix.
Yeah.
He had his first win in China in 2012 with Mercedes, their first ever win since their return to the sport in 2010. So do you think that he will? Quick. I mean, obviously, we're going to do our race predictions later on in the preview show, in the Chinese Grand Prix preview show, and on the chat and things to come. But do you think that Nico can impress? And then also, do you think he can maybe go for the win? And do you think he's spurred on by that win in 2012? Obviously, your maiden win is the most important thing probably ever to you. And again, going back to Vettel, he always says that winning in Italy is something to do because that was his first ever win with Toro Rosso in 2008.
Yeah. I mean, China will hold a very special memory for Rosberg throughout his entire F1 career. It doesn't matter how low it's going to go.
Yeah.
He could be at a team in the next 5 years where they're not scoring points, you know, like a bit like, you know, the Manners and, you know, what Caterham and HRT were like.
Yeah.
But when he goes to China, I mean, every F1 driver who's won their first race, that place will hold a very special memory for them. And China is no exception for Rosberg. He loves that place.
Yeah.
As like you said, first win in 2012. 2013, I don't think he won it, but, you know, he was leading for a lot of the laps.
Yeah.
Impressive at China. He's now won 5 races in a row, 2 on the bounce this season. The momentum is definitely with Rosberg, and I was tipping him as favourite. He's definitely put his odds on favourites to win the race.
Yeah, definitely.
Depending if his car, you know, keeps him running. Obviously, I mean, anything can happen with the Mercedes. They can just all of a sudden you know, reliability problems. But I've seen it with the top league when Red Bull were dominating, when Ferrari were dominating, when Mercedes were dominating. We've seen it, and it can happen. And it is possible, but obviously you've got but then you could say that maybe Lewis Hamilton has a better chance. Reason being is that the past 2 races have not gone well for him, so he'll be like, I'm determined. I don't want to lose to Rosberg this season. I want to win my 4th world championship, you know, and most definitely leave a legacy in Formula 1. You know, beating my hero Senna, so he will want to do that. You know what I mean? So, but Rosberg is definitely odds on favourite, and I can see him dominating this Grand Prix if everything goes his way.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely saw we've definitely saw their rivalries now at boiling point. I mean, Australia, it wasn't really, you know, they were all happy on the podium. They were all happy on the podium, you know, smiling.
True, can you hear the dog?
I can. You know, they were all smiling. You know, they were all smiling on the podium, happy, giggling away, even in the press conference. Bahrain, as you see now, I mean, it was, you know, it's really kicking off now. I mean, it's almost like last year, Hamilton was ahead. I mean, it even showed, I don't know if you saw that meme that was made about Hamilton was smiling and Rosberg was giving him evil looks, and it was like karma. Well, it is, I mean, it's karma in a way because, you know, now Rosberg's on top and Hamilton's getting a bit, you know, jealous.
I've seen a statement someone shared on Facebook where it said that Hamilton isn't really that bothered about Rosberg winning the streak, and it's like, of course you are.
Yeah, of course he is. Why would Hamilton not be bothered? I mean, he is he is. Do you know what? He is probably the most aggressive driver and the most horrible. He's probably the most horrible driver in the grid. You know, he's probably the most the meanest.
I mean, certainly his off-track actions have been, I mean, not very role model-like. I mean, obviously, if you do follow him on Snapchat, and 2, you know, he's always at New York. He does this. He's partying and stuff. And you know, I mean, compared, they're very, very similar to Niki Lauda and James Hunt. James Hunt was, you know, playboy, out partying and stuff, women and stuff. And Niki Lauda was more of a chill, stay at home, out with a family.
Yeah, but he was, huh?
And that's what Rosberg is. Rosberg's a family man.
Do you know what I mean? Yes, I think their rivalry is based on that.
Pagani's Hondas, which I'm going to kill him for. But that's my favourite car.
Yeah, that was absolutely mad. But yeah, that's what their rivalry is based on. You know, it's mad, really. But I mean, I mean, obviously, I know we're going off a bit on a tangent here, which we always do on the F1 debate show,
This is
but
unscripted, guys. Unscripted. This is new.
but I think with Hamilton's, him going off and doing whatever, like off camera. I mean, that it's in some point, in some ways, it's almost like so what, he's obviously he's very successful. He's got all this money. He hasn't got any family. He can do what he wants really, and obviously Rosberg now has a family, is more focused. But at the end of the day, though, I mean, this season, it's definitely shown that having a family and being, having been like more, having your head screwed on about it is definitely helping because obviously now Rosberg's ahead, Hamilton's not. He's not the number one driver anymore. He's not ahead in the championship. He's not as strong as Rosberg. So now Hamilton's in Rosberg's shoes that he was a year ago. So
There always has been a little rumour going about where apparently if you have a child in Formula One, you lose like a second or something, or you lose 2 seconds allegedly. But I mean that wasn't the case with Vettel when he had his daughter, and same with Reitman. And obviously he hasn't slowed Rosberg down. I mean, I think she was born last year, I believe. Daughter was born last year. But I mean, it has definitely, if anything, gave Rosberg more momentum now this season. Judging obviously one because of his daughter, and 2 because he doesn't want to lose to Hamilton for a 3rd season in a row. Definitely not.
No.
Yes.
No. But this could be Rosberg's year, though. It probably is. I mean, definitely how he started out in the year is unbelievable, really.
Definitely not what.
Well, what's happening?
Action going on behind me.
Oh, action. Right, let's move off from them. Let's move on to some of the big news this week. So the first thing we're going to start off with is Sauber's financial troubles. Now, obviously, in 2014, late 2014, we saw Marussia and Caterham having problems. Now, they were obviously 2 teams that we thought would have problems because they've changed. Obviously, they've changed. There've been loads of teams. There've been Hispania, there've been HRT, just changing the names all the way through Formula One. And they're a team at the back. The ones with the less money. And obviously, as we discussed in the F1 debate show, in the review, they have less sponsorships and they have less money, and they're always going to be at the back of the grid. Anyway, so obviously we knew that those teams were probably going to struggle to keep the head above water. Russia eventually did. Obviously they came back in the 2014 season, and then for 15, Caterham didn't. Their last race was the 2014 Russian Grand Prix, and then they didn't unfortunately come back. Now Sauber sorry.
Abu Dhabi, the race in Abu Dhabi
was
because you had Lotra and someone else.
Caterham. Oh, but you know what I mean. That they struggled with their their money anyway. So I thought Sauber would be a team to stay above water, but it turns out not. Anyway, so now that they're struggling, Alfa Romeo, who will obviously then make their return into Formula One, they're probably looking to bail them out. So next year we could see Sauber become, say, Sauber Alfa Romeo or Alfa Romeo. As a team now, obviously. Poor Marcus Ericsson, he's been through. He knows what financial troubles are in Formula One. He's been there, done that, got the T-shirt, had the T-shirt signed, lost the funds for the T-shirt, and the T-shirt's gone. Keeping that T-shirt analogy alive. But yeah, I mean, so obviously we could see Alfa Romeo back in Formula One, and obviously they were in the 70s. JT, would that be great? Almost like a Honda return. But then again, though, like a Honda return, would it be terrible?
I mean, obviously, Alfa Romeo hold a massive legacy in Formula One. They were one of the original teams back in 1950.
Yeah.
At the start of Formula One, a bit like Ferrari, obviously dropped out in recent times. But they have like, I think Fangio drove for them when they won championships and stuff. And they were one of the big teams back in the day at the roots of Formula One. So it will be massive to have them back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A proper history of Formula One where modern F1 fans can see Alfa Romeo. Obviously, they have a partnership with Ferrari, which obviously with Ferrari bailing them out, but then obviously allow their partners, Alfa Romeo, to go in there. And some are saying that this will be Ferrari's C team because everyone's saying that Haas is their B team. So I think Ferrari are trying to buy out the entire grid. But in terms of, as like you said, like a Honda return, let's hope it's more successful than Honda's return. I would like to say it. And obviously, it's still early days. I mean, it might not happen. I mean, obviously, in the summer there was rumours that Aston Martin were going to buy Force India. Obviously, they didn't. They went to what was this?
Red Bull, yeah.
And obviously, so it could be just rumours at the moment. Nobody's really officially confirmed this.
Yeah.
I would definitely, obviously, I mean, I don't know actually. I don't know what colour card there would be. I mean,
Red,
darker
probably.
red, like originally, like Alfa Romeo, because obviously back in the day they were red. Well, I think they were more of a darker red, more of like a maroon red.
Yeah, yeah.
Obviously with Ferrari being like probably like strawberry.
Oh, they'll have to change. They'll have to make sure that nobody thinks they're a Ferrari car.
Exactly. So there's a Ferrari. No, it's a, no, no, no,
Well,
no,
when Renault came to Bahrain, they were told by Bernie and also Eddie Jordan they had to change their kit because from the back people thought that it was the Jordan team, and well, Eddie Jordan didn't want that. You know, he was like, "That's my team, or that was my team, still is my team. I own it. It's just we're not in Formula One at the moment." So they had to write Renault on the back. Before that, people used to walk up and think, "Oh, look, there's Jordan. They've made a comeback."
that would be amazing to see. I mean, I think that's how I started watching Formula when I was younger. I mean, it was like, oh my god, my game's on TV.
Yeah, that would be
Wow.
JTF1, eh?
I can't really remember Jordan F1 as much. I can't really obviously vividly remember. I remember the car was yellow. Obviously, I've seen it in reviews and stuff. But,
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, Renault's lush livery in 2010. Obviously, the yellow livery. They're trying to replicate that, but it hasn't.
I like the black Renault, to be honest. I like the black Renault, to be honest. I wish the stay. You know the prototype livery that they had. I wish to stay like that.
That was the most annoying thing because the reason they had this massive event right at the start of February, and we were about to see, you know, the first look of the 2016 F1 car. Now, what they did is that they had the 2015 Lotus car on a testing livery, and I'm thinking to myself, you've spent all this money, and effort, and time, basically wasting our time. Because it's just a testing livery. You only have it up until Australia.
Yeah.
And you only really announcing your drivers. I mean, obviously, they'll probably would have got some money for it. Maybe that's why they've got it. Obviously, me and Elsie have talked about money a lot in Formula One. That's probably the reason why exactly how to make money. But I mean, wait. I mean, and then obviously you had the little Renault car coming in on a friggin' what was it called? A Ford, whatever it was. I mean,
Let's go.
This is going on in the blooper pile.
Oh God.
Prove that we are definitely not unscripted.
Oh, it's fun.
I was meant to say that we're definitely not scripted.
Oh.
We just take everything as it goes. Dogs barking, cameras falling. I mean, what happened was before, right? Me and Elsie actually tried a different sort of communication on Google Plus, and that went really, really badly.
Yeah, it did. It wasn't great.
It was also like reverting this. But anyways, moving on to back in Formula One. Something that we all wanted to discuss that Elsie mentioned at the start of the video was qualifying.
Yes, God.
Obviously, they're trying to make this new format into qualifying for the Chinese Grand Prix. There was loads of people and teams against that, which obviously now they've announced today. Well, yesterday, if you're watching this on Friday, which I hope you are, they announced yesterday that the new qualifying is. Well, sorry, the last season qualifying is coming back for the Chinese Grand Prix.
Yay!
They finally listened.
I know.
GTLC, what we said.
When we heard the announcement, though, when I heard the announcement, I thought it was going to be the FIA make qualifying where you have to go out and run the. Yeah, okay, you do sector 1 and sector 2 in the car, then you stop and run. You have to get out the car and run sector 3.
Like Jensen try I thought when you swim to one point, cycle to the next, and then run the last.
Yeah, well, I thought you were going to say. I thought you were going to say when they were watching Jenson Button's Monaco Grand Prix in 2009 when he stopped in the wrong car park or whatever and he had to run to the point. That was very amusing. But I thought they were going to bring that. But yes, thankfully, the quality is back for China and hopefully the rest of the season. But to be honest though, don't get your hopes up seriously because I reckon that. They'll do it. They'll do the quality, and do you know what? Whoever invented it, by the way, he hasn't released his name, but I reckon he'll be sitting there in the FIA control room, scratching his head, and he'll go, "Oh well, I think we can change quality, to 4 laps." on your head, driving on your head, or drive with 3 wheels, or unicycling. You know. Um,
I mean, an absolute joke. Obviously, previous qualifying. Why are they changing it? Why? That's what we want to know. I want someone to come out with a statement and go, right, we changed qualifying because of this reason.
Because they think that by changing quality, it'll like entice people into it. That it'll stay. People will think.
It's just confusing.
I know.
It's like we said in the review. Up and coming F1 fans are gonna look at qualifying and go, okay.
I know.
You know
But
what I mean?
we can say that back in day we lived through the era of the the 2 race fail quali. We can say we were there. People when people say like, what were you doing on the day of this terrible quali session, we can be like, watching it live. Australian Grand Prix, we were there. We were doing the F1 debate show.
Exactly, F1. We were there. We were there, guys. And by the way, we are going to be there for the British Grand Prix. Well, we might be able to see some decent qualifying.
We are.
Yes. We're going to be doing meet and greet.
We're going to be doing absolutely fantastic. We're gonna be setting up a lot.
We've got a stand in Abbey ready for us.
Oh yeah, meet the F1 debate show. We're gonna have a lot more things set up for you guys. We're gonna obviously be doing like live, not live, but more regular.
I'm announcing this now. I'm announcing this like this is like Elsie's not doesn't know what we're gonna say. We're gonna bungee jump out of a plane. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, we're not. I wouldn't dare do that. But
that'd be fun.
What we're gonna do is that we're actually gonna. Well, you know what we're going to do. We're going to vlog it. Basically, that's what we're going to do. We're going to vlog the entire 3 days of us going to Silverstone. From the moment we leave our houses to the moment we get back into our houses.
Yep.
It will be amazing. Trust me. Honestly, I really do hope that you can catch us for that.
Yeah.
And obviously, I mean, highly doubt it. But if somebody out there wants to recognise us and wants to come over, feel free.
Yeah.
I mean, there might be that one, but obviously there's loads of Formula 1 fans, ourselves, obviously. But there might be that one in a million person that comes up, it might go, Forever Formula, JT, I recognise you.
Yeah.
F1 debate you. I'll be like, I don't know what to do.
By the way, somebody liked the Finn could be finished comment on the review.
What's he called?
Cameron Vettel. Yes, hi Cameron.
Thank you very much for watching. Hello.
Thank you for my comment. The Finn could be finished. He even put a ... finished. Like a question, like, would he be finished? But yeah, so
that'd be fun. These jokes that the LC's made about Haas, like Haas Nixon or whatever he said. What did he say in the last episode? He said it's about Haas. You were like Haas.
Like did someone like, did they Haas you or something?
Oh, Haas you.
But yeah. Anyway, so we're rambling on a bit, and obviously it's
yeah, we are.
going to be the F1 debate show. Obviously, this between races, it's going to be a little shorter than the preview and the review shows. So anyway, that'll do for episode 6. Unless there's anything else to discuss from JT.
Not really. There hasn't really been much this week, this is what it's going to be like. It's going to be some weeks we've got loads to talk about. Some weeks we haven't really got much to talk about. This is one of them weeks where we haven't got much to talk about. Yeah. These are the videos that really aren't going to be. These are one like where me and Elsie just kind of mess around and probably laugh. These are the ones where we'll probably get the most views from. Yeah,
hopefully, and obviously everyone else out there who's watching. By the way, 212 likes. That's pretty good. 30 subscribers. And obviously, if there's anything that you want to see me or JT doing in the videos, less dogs, less computers, nothing about.
Less cameras, less Google Plus.
Less of JT. I mean, we can get rid of him. Just say the word and I can get rid of him completely. But yeah, I mean, just anything that any of us want, we'll.
Who else is going to be when you lose conversation? Who's going to pick them pieces up for you?
Oh, I don't know. It'll be hard. I'm sure I'll find someone.
Elsie's doing a great job. We're both doing a great job. We are enjoying.
Yeah, me more though. I mean, I'm just obviously more superior, I guess. But yeah. Anyway, so that'll do it, guys, for episode 6 of the F1 debate show. So thank you for watching. Obviously, like us on Facebook and YouTube if you haven't yet. subscribe, and then obviously we'll be posting more on the Facebook page, and then join us for the preview show. Probably our next. No, it won't be our next video. We'll be making more videos. Don't worry. And
we're going to try and get some videos up during the week if possible. We want to try and get at least 2 or 3 videos up.
Yeah.
We are going to try and record some pre-recorded videos this week.
Yeah.
But might get one up on a certain subject that we promised on the channel preview.
I mean, we're still pretty young. I mean, this is episode 6. Obviously, we've been doing 6 weeks of the F1 debate show. So yeah, we're making progress. Obviously, yeah, and we're hoping to grow, and obviously I posted on the Facebook wall 500 Facebook likes before the British Grand Prix would be absolutely fantastic. And obviously I haven't got a better goal for YouTube, but obviously just hopefully as well as we can do. Anyway, so
30 subscribers, so 50 before the British Grand Prix.
Yeah, I mean it can be done. It's all down to you guys. I mean, we put out great videos that you like us, you subscribe to us, you tell your friends.
Exactly. If you obviously content will improve, definitely. I mean, obviously you have to invest.
Yeah.
It's obviously we've invested in stuff like LC's Red Bull Gate. It looks professional.
Yeah.
The camera that I got for us, obviously the cameras that we're using, stuff like that. Obviously, we'll be definitely improving our quality over the time. Everyone has to start somewhere, so
yeah.
Let's see how far we can go with it.
Yeah, for sure. Anyway, so thank you for watching episode 6, and we will see you in the next video. See you guys.